Hey guys, I'm Jonas. Today we're going to be taking a look at our clutch update kits for your Yamaha G29. From 2007 until 2012 and a half, Yamaha drive models, also referred to as the G29s, came from the factory with this team clutch setup. Now, it only took Yamaha a couple of years before they realized that they had made a huge mistake with these clutches. Now, the main issue with these clutches was with this primary clutch just not being sealed up very well. This would allow dirt and dust to get inside of the clutch and start to wear out the rollers and the bushings. So these primary clutches use 6 of these rollers inside of the clutch. So as the engine RPMs would increase, centrifugal force pushes these rollers out inside of the clutch and forces the clutch to close and start to shift out. Well, these rollers would start getting a flat spot worn on the edge of them, so it would affect how they roll. They would get stuck and not shift out all the way. Now, they would also get really loose in the track and start rattling and cause the clutch to be very loud. Now, this on top of the bushings for the movable sheave, those would start to get worn out as well. So the sheave just wouldn't slide on the shaft like it should. So the combination of the rollers going bad and the bushings getting worn would cause these clutches to stop working properly within just a few years of operation. Now, these carts came from the factory with a 4-year warranty from Yamaha. Now, Yamaha was seeing these clutches start to fail before that 4-year warranty was even up. So they were having to go out to fleets on courses and change out entire fleets of clutches, 50 or 100 carts at a time, and they'd have to put all new clutches on all of them. So this ended up costing Yamaha a boatload of money. Now, probably the most common symptom with a worn primary clutch is going to be that the clutch just doesn't shift right. So it'll end up not fully closing at high RPM. So the clutch may only close about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way, so it doesn't fully shift out into high gear. So that ends up really hurting your top speed. But then also, if you come to a fast stop, these clutches are notorious for not letting go or shifting back out into low gear. And then when you go to start the engine up to take off again, the engine either won't start or won't be able to crank over, or the cart will lurch forward. It'll try to make the cart take off as soon as you hit the pedal because the clutch is stuck closed and the belt is stuck out in a high gear. So the engine can't spin over freely like it needs to actually fire up before the clutch starts to close. So those are some of the common symptoms that you're going to see that's going to tell you that you need to update to the new style clutches. So halfway through the 2012 model year is when Yamaha switched to these new style clutches. Now, these are commonly referred to as the FBT clutches. Now, unfortunately, none of the components between these two clutch setups are interchangeable. Now, the primary difference is the new style clutches use a 1 3/16 belt, where the team clutches only used an 1 1/8 wide belt. So you couldn't run the new style primary clutch with an old style secondary clutch. The belts are not compatible. So when you switch your cart over from this old style team setup, you have to do all the new components for the FBT clutches so that it all works together. Now, these new style clutches do come with a grease zerk on both the primary and the secondary clutch. So these are a greasable clutch, and that's going to help these clutches last a lot longer. Now, these new style primary clutches also use a different type of weight setup. So these use a weight and link arm setup so that it's not an actual roller in there. That helps keep it quieter, and it works better and lasts significantly longer than what a roller style setup does. Now, since Yamaha switched to these new style clutches in 2012 and a half, we haven't seen any major issues with them. These clutches have really been a great setup. So if your cart has this old style team clutch setup still on it, chances are it's probably completely worn out and needs to be updated to these new style clutches. Now we sell these new style clutches in a complete update kit. So that's going to come with both your primary and your secondary clutch, along with all the hardware that you need to install it. These clutches do use completely different bolts than what the old team clutches did. So you do have to have all new bolts and washers and spacers to install these new clutches on your cart. And then our kit also includes our heavy duty Kevlar drive belt. Now this is the same drive belt that we use in all of our clutch kits. So if you wanted to also install a clutch kit on your cart at the same time while you're switching out these clutches, you could easily make this a stage 1 kit by just adding the stiffer spring to the secondary clutch. Now, if you order that spring at the same time as you're ordering this clutch update kit, we will go ahead and install that new spring in the secondary clutch before we ship it out to you. Now, to install this new primary clutch on your engine, you will need a clutch puller to remove the old clutch. Now, we do have those pullers available on our website along with this clutch update kit. You can find that at powerequipmentman.com, and I'll leave a link for them in the description down below. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. If you got some good value out of this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.